guys, so I totally forgot to do a subscriber shout out, so I'm shouting out 2 people. I don't know how to pronounce this person's username, but this is who I'm shouting out. And I don't know how to pronounce her name either, but hey guys, thanks for staying active on my page, joining my lives, and just being a good supporter all in all. So if you guys want to be shouted out in the next video on my YouTube channel and on my Instagram page, all you have to do is comment on one of my lives, pictures, or under my videos. I want to be featured in the next video shout out. The more you do that and the more I see it, the more I'm like, I'm gonna put them next as a shout out. So that's all you have to do. Before we get into the video, I just want to talk about this crop top that I have. This crop top is from the Instagram page, The Best Hustle. Really cropped shirt. If you guys want your own crop top like this, follow their Instagram, and it's only $15. Today's video is a very highly requested video. I've been putting this video off just because I don't even want to think about the subject or like how it happened or who I lost it to. But I decided to put on my big girl panties. Okay, girl. A lot of my supporters ask me questions that they don't want to ask their older sister, or they don't want to ask their cousin, or they don't want to ask their mom or ask their grandma, just because they're scared that they're going to get judged. So I'm your virtual mommy. So how you doing? I'm here to answer all you guys' questions. So today's video is going to be a losing virginity aftermath Q&A. A lot of my subscribers, or a majority of my subscribers, came from that story time. If you guys don't know what story time I'm talking about, I'm talking about this one. If you guys haven't watched it, go ahead and watch it. I'm thinking about refilming it, but let me know about that. Yeah, so I'm just gonna be answering you guys' questions about it and everything like that. So let's get into this video. Also, before I start, I don't want to encourage anybody to go out there and have sex. I'm not encouraging anybody to do things like that, because I am a Christian and that is really against my religion to have sex before marriage. So before you conservatives, mother effers come in this bit like, why are you encouraging your younger subscribers to have sex? I'm not. Thank you. Next. If you are a younger viewer and you're curious or you want to have sex just because someone's telling you about it, don't have sex because you feel pressured or you want to be cool or everyone else is doing it around you. You should do it when you're ready, or not do it at all. Okay, so the first question I got was, does it hurt? For my first time, it really didn't hurt, but I can see why for other people it did. When I was younger, I used to watch these story times about how the pain was out of this world and they want to do it again. A lot of reason why it hurts is because the person you're doing it with, you're not comfortable with, or you're not comfortable in the space or the environment you're in. You're just not comfortable in general, or you're rushing into it, or you're just, okay, I need to hurry up, take my pants off. There's nothing, there's no foreplay or anything like that. You know what I mean? But the reason it didn't hurt for me is because I was comfortable with the person I was having sex with. I was comfortable with where I was at and the environment I was in, and I didn't feel pressured or rushed to do it. I did it because I wanted to do it. Did it hurt? No, it didn't hurt, but I can see how it can hurt for other people. Okay, the second question is, when you lost it, did you use condoms, and do they always work? When I lost mine, I didn't use condoms. If idiotism is a word, that's what it was. That's out of the ignorance and idiotism of me. But yes, always use protection, especially if you're really out here just having multiple sexual partners. Always use protection. And do condoms always work? No, condoms don't always work. So if you are using protection, make sure you always tell your partner to pull out or whatever you guys are doing, because condoms don't always work. There can always be a slip up, they break, things like that happen. So is bleeding normal? Yes, bleeding is normal when you first lose your virginity. What bleeding is, it's your hymen breaking, popping your cherry or whatever like that. Bleeding can happen anytime, because just because it was your first time losing your virginity doesn't mean your cherry is going to pop. You could have been lost your virginity and your cherry just popped. If you are bleeding, because a lot of people DM me like, I lost my virginity and I'm bleeding and I think I have cancer. Bleeding is very normal. It can last almost up to a week as well, depending on your body. And a lot of people feel scared when it happens. but you can been lost your virginity and he just didn't pop your cherry. But this time when you had sex, he popped your cherry. You see what I mean? So a lot of people think the first time you have sex, your cherry is going to get popped, and that's definitely not the case. Am I on birth control? No, I'm not, but I do plan on getting on birth control. But I do also want to tell you guys something about that. I honestly feel like being on birth control, a lot of guys, it depends what type of person you're with, how mature the person is, how much the person respects you. But a lot of guys just feel like just because their girlfriend's on birth control, that gives them free reign to release themselves in them, release the kids and the person. Like, that's not the case. So that's why I feel like depending who are you with, or even if you're not with somebody and you just have a fuck buddy or you just have somebody like that, I don't really feel like it's any of their business to tell them if you are on it or not. Because a lot of guys, and I noticed this, a lot of guys tend to ask, are you on birth control? Because they want to know that, because they want to know if they have to pull out or not. Listen, fellas, if you're watching my YouTube video and you are a guy, just because she's on birth control doesn't mean you nut in her. Birth control, yeah, it works, but it doesn't work all the time. I know so many people that got pregnant off of birth control. So just because she's on birth control doesn't mean you can just release yourself in her. I really think that's really disrespectful. Next question is sex all that? Honestly, from when I was a kid and about the movies about sex, or the music, or what rappers say, or just being on social media, being on Instagram, just seeing posts, honestly, the way they made it described is not all that. Yeah, it's good, but it's not all of that. It's really overrated if you really want to be honest. I don't know if I'm just doing it with the wrong person, or was doing it with the wrong person, or what. Now, what I can say, I am a very emotional person. I'm a spiritual person. So maybe the emotions you get while you're having sex is what makes it so great. But if you're not like that and you're just a straight to the point person and you really don't feel that, like you're disconnected when it comes to emotions, then you're not going to think that much of it. And I know a lot of girls who really don't care for it and like who just do it just to do it and it's whatever, you know what I mean? If you want to keep it a buck, no. But the emotions you feel, yeah. How'd you feel after you finished? How I felt, I mean, I didn't really feel like anything. I just felt really good and really happy. So, did you regret losing your virginity? You regret doing it? If you guys haven't watched my last story time, and that is the story time about the dream God gave me, yes, I regret having sex sometimes, especially if I'm not supposed to be doing it with this certain person. Losing my virginity, and you know how people say, oh, I regret losing my virginity, I wish I never did it, this, that, and third. Yeah, I feel that regret a lot sometimes, just because I remember how innocent I was versus how I am now. But honestly, if you're doing it with a person that genuinely loves you and respects you and cares about you, you're not going to regret it at all, honestly. But if you're doing it with somebody who doesn't really care about you, but they more so care about what's in your pants, then you're going to feel some type of regret because you gave your body to somebody who honestly didn't deserve it. So all I regret more so, I don't really regret the act, but I just regret that I gave myself to somebody who didn't deserve me to give myself to them. Also, before you even think about having sex, I really just want to tell you guys, you have to love yourself before you even think about giving yourself to somebody else. If you don't love yourself, 9 times out of 10, you're going to give yourself to somebody who doesn't love you or who doesn't respect you, or whoever you're giving yourself to is going to treat you how you treat yourself. Know your worth, because when you know your worth, then you know who is worth it. You get what I'm saying? Another question is, did your family look at you differently? My sister didn't, but I do want to say my mom definitely looked at me really different. She did. I don't know how she looks at me. She probably thinks, honestly, I'm just keep it a buck. How I think she perceived me, she probably perceived me as somebody who was just having sex and who was just giving my body to anybody and who didn't. And that's how she looked at me. And that's really not the case, because I'm a very smart person. I'm a very intelligent girl. Honestly, I really am. Me personally, I know that's not what I'm doing. I know that I'm not out here just giving myself to people and stuff like that. But I do want to say my mom definitely looked at me differently after that, which isn't fair at all. Because I know when I'm older and when I have kids, I'm not going to do that to my kids, actually, like at all. Next question was the process awkward, and what can you say to make it not so awkward? Honestly, it's not awkward. It's not awkward at all because you're not even thinking about how awkward it is when you're about to do it. You know what I mean? So if it's awkward while you're doing it, you shouldn't be having it with that person. If you feel weird, then you shouldn't be doing it. You know what I mean? Period. Because you should feel comfortable and you should feel safe. You know what I mean? And there's really nothing to say. If you try to say something to make it less awkward, you're going to make it more awkward. So just last question I have is, did you crave it after your first time? No, I didn't actually crave it at all. I'm going to keep it honest. When my dad was talking to me about this subject, he told me when you first have sex, you're going to crave it and you're going to want it and you're going to jump off a roof for it. No. The only thing that I craved was the feeling of being loved and the feeling of being held by somebody, but I didn't actually crave the act itself. I craved the emotions that came with it. So that is it for this YouTube video, guys. I hope that answered a good amount of your questions. This is a part 1, and you guys asked so many questions, so I have to film a part 2 for you guys. So I hope you guys enjoyed, and I hope I answered a good majority of your questions. If you have any more, feel free to DM me on Instagram, but I will be making a part 2. Bye!